to welcome you back in. And it is currently in the game the 23rd of April in 1871. And we've got ourselves a matchup versus the Cleveland Forest Cities at the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. So previously, thanks for the love, appreciate it, Wise One. You are most welcome. So going back previously, on our two previous watch-throughs, we watched the Troy Haymakers visit the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Fort Wayne taking that one by a score of 16-3. The big performer in that one, Dave Birdsall, who had 3 hits and 2 RBIs in that one. Fergie Malone, also 2 RBIs in that game. Then last night we watched Boston play the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. That one finished by a score of 21-6 for Fort Wayne. The big performer in that one, Jimmy Wood, the second baseman, he had 4 hits with 4 RBIs as well. Wes Fizzler had 3. He went 3 for 6. He also had 4 RBIs. And then Dave Birdsall, again big in that game. He was 4 for 6 with 3 RBIs as well. So today, that lineup of the Fort Wayne Kekiongas are going to be hosting the Cleveland Forest Cities. Welcome in, Viva. No idea why you're calling me Benny Cakes instead of Benny Kage, but we'll roll with it. Anyway. So, what we've got now is Cleveland's opening game. Let's go over the starting lineup here for Cleveland Forest City's opening game of the 1871 season. I'm just going to ignore that comment, Viva. Leading off, the center fielder, Dave Egler. And then the left fielder, Fred Cohn, will bat second. Batting third is catcher Deacon White. Batting fourth will be the pitcher, Al Spalding. Fifth will be the shortstop, Chuck Fulmer. Is it Fulmer or Fulmer? It's Fulmer. Sorry, I wrote Fulmer. Let me correct that now. It is Fulmer. Fulmer. The batting sixth is the second baseman, William Johnson. Batting seventh will be the first baseman, Danny Muck. Sorry. Let me correct that. Batting eighth will be the right fielder, John Glenn, with or without syrup. What do you... God, well, welcome in, Zig. And batting ninth will be the third baseman, Francis Abercrombie. So that's your lineup for the Cleveland Forest City. Zig, let me get you a shout-out as well. Zig, I got a new shout-out feature. I hope you're here for it. Are you ready? Go give Zig a follow. They are a Football Manager streamer.
And that's it for today. Hereford have gotten away with this one.
A whole bunch of different games Zig's actually streamed before. So there you go. Go give him a follow. Definitely worth it. So welcome in, Zig. FM20 down. Yeah. Hey man, it pulls a random clip. I had it on. You could choose a random top clip or a random recent clip. And when I chose a random recent clip and I tested it with Crack, for example, it just kept pulling the same clip. So I'm like, I'd like to mix it up and make it a little bit random, because if you've been streaming for a while, you're going to have some clips that are like a little bit legendary, right? Like funny moments from like a stream 3 years ago. You want to be able to capture those, right? So I did that. So it's cool, though. Off again, my good friend needs to sort out some personal stuff. Share it. My cat stay. Have a fantastic stream. Thank you very much, Crack. Take care of yourself, brother. Right, let's go through the starting lineup for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Leading off will be the shortstop, Dickie Flowers. The batting second is going to be the center fielder, Count Sessendorfer, which is just a great name, by the way. That's hands down the best name so far in this save. You finally got the 7.5K. Nice. From a stream 8 years ago. Batting third is the second baseman, Jimmy Wood. Batting fourth will be the left fielder, Steve King. In the 5 spot is the third baseman, Henry Schaefer. Wes Fizzler will be the first baseman. He's batting sixth. Batting seventh will be the catcher, Fergie Malone. Batting eighth will be the right fielder, Dave Birdsall. And batting ninth, the pitcher, George Zetelin. So there's your starting lineup for the now 2-0 Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Woo! American Rounders. Wonder how much I learned today. I hope you're doing well today, Betty. Welcome in, Moss, man. Let me give you a shout out as well. Guys, give Mossman a follow. He's doing a Create a Club currently with Mossman Games. And he's got him up in the Prem, man. He just smashed my West Ham with him, and I'm still not over that. I'm angry with him. But he's a really fun streamer to talk to, who is just a really awesome guy. So to follow. The save's a lot of fun, by the way, watching you take the team to the top flight of English football. So definitely more to come from that save as well. Anyway, let's get into the game, shall we? My mate's blowing me up now on Snapchat because I sent him a snap that says I have no idea how we're top of the table, and in the MLS, and that's very much true. I have no idea how the Union have done it, but we woke up this morning top of the league. Anyway. MLS aside, that's a good point. When are the games coming on? Because I probably missed them today. Oh my God, no, they're not live yet. I'd imagine the first game is already underway. No, 7 o'clock. Both games are 7 o'clock. 7 and 9 tonight. Okay, fair enough. So, cool. We're gonna get underway. Right, Cleveland at Fort Wayne. Leading off for the Cleveland Forest Cities will be center fielder Dave Egler. It's the first game for Cleveland so far in the league, so no batting averages, nothing yet for anybody here. They will be facing pitcher George Zetelin, who is 2-0 on the season with 16 hits and only 5 earned runs. He's got a 2.5 earned run average, which is pretty good. That'd be really good in the modern standards as well, but this is not modern. This is 1871, obviously. So for those that don't know, who might be new here to the baseball at least, we are commentating through the 1871 season. You could pick any season, historical season, to start your save with in this game, going all the way back to the very first professional baseball league back in 1871, and that's what we've chose to do. I am actually managing myself the Rockford Forest Cities. We're 0-1. We got smoked by the Philadelphia Athletics in our first game. And in between those games, any game that falls on a day we're not playing, we're also commentating. So it's the opening season in 1871 was 32 games. So it's a 32-game season. There's 9 teams in the league. The league will actually expand and contract historically accurately. So as teams fold and as teams come into the league, you will see them fold and you will see them come into the league. The playoff format will change as historically as it did throughout the 150 years baseball's been played in America. And you will also see the names of the real MLB players. All of the players were real players who played for these teams. And so you're going to see the likes of DiMaggio, Babe Ruth, Pete Rose, basically anybody, the shoeless Joe Jackson. You're going to see them come through the league as we get into future seasons. The stadiums don't look authentic. No, that's the only thing. The stats for the stadium are such as the length of the fields, like the length of the walls, the height of the walls, and the attendance figures all of that is accurate, but the look of the actual stadium when you get into the game, no, that's not accurate. Having said that as well, the ticket prices are pretty accurate. So, for example, our ticket price for this season back in 1871 is 10 cents a ticket for Forest Cities. 10 cents a ticket. And that will actually adjust over time with inflation as well, and so will player salaries. So all of it actually has a lot of historical accuracy to it. We did choose that players coming into the league will have a random development path. So we know we're going to get Shoeless Joe Jackson. We don't know if he's going to be a great player. We know we're going to get Babe Ruth. We don't know if he's going to be the all-star, phenomenal, one of the greatest hitters of all time to ever play the game, or if he's just going to be a dud, or if he's just going to be an average player. So that's all for more to come. We're in the very first season now. We're only in the 23rd of April, so we've got a long way to go. But let's get into it. Dave Egler will be the first batter up, and he will be pitched to by George Zetlin. And this will be the first pitch. A very cool afternoon, 44 degrees Fahrenheit, which for those of you over in Europe, that's only about 8 or 9 degrees Celsius. It's not a lot. And the first pitch is a ball outside, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's lined back up the middle. That's through, and Dave Egler is on with a leadoff single. The other thing we have done, by the way, is I've bought a scoring book. So I have all the games we've done. I'm going to try to flip the page and hold the mic at the same time. I've scored. So all their stats are being manually recorded on scoring books, and we'll have a collection of these build up throughout the save as well, which is pretty neat. So, right. That'll bring up Fred Cohn, the left fielder. Here's the first pitch to Fred Cohn. There's actually throw over to first, and the runner is back in time. Another pickoff attempt at first, but in there. And fine. Here's the first pitch. That is a low, or actually high for a ball. 1-0. Looks like a bunt attempt might have been on there from Fred Cohn. Check swing, but it's in there for a called strike. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's down low and inside on the corner for strike number 2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's outside, ball 2. And here's the 2-2. And that's grounded foul back behind the home plate. This will bring up the 2-2 pitch. And it's called strike 3. He rung him up. And Fred Cohn is down looking. A little bit of backwards K action for you in the opening inning. And he is gone. And that'll bring up Deacon White as the next batter. Here is the first pitch. That is outside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. You having fun, buddy? I am. And that is called strike over to second, and it is a stolen base for Dave Egler. I am, Zig. 1-1. That's swung on, grounded over to the second baseman. He's bobbled it. That is going to be an E4, an error on Jimmy Wood. Scratch your. You know exactly what it is. You know exactly what it is, Zig. You know me so well, man. We've never met in person, and yet you know me so well. So, 100% I'm scratching that commentary itch. Right. That actually is going to move Dave Egler over to third because he stole second. And Deacon White will be on first. So runners on the corners, 1 out. That'll bring up Al Spalding, the pitcher. And here's the first pitch. That's in there for a strike. 0-1. Soon, TM, yeah. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, and that's 0-2. 0-2 pitch, that's popped up over to the first base side. gloved without issue, and that'll be the second out of the inning. This is what I used to do. Like, this is the thing. This is what I used to do as a kid. Like, I would play as in the basket. Yeah, same name, right? Yeah. But this is what I used to do as a kid. Like, I used to sit there, and I used to write in a notebook the commentary for the Flyers, play-by-play, before I became an Oilers fan. And then I used to play NHL, and I would be commentating as I'm playing the game. It was fun. I just love it. So I'm going to do what I did as a kid, but I'm going to do it on stream because I like streaming. So why not? You know what I mean? Here's the first pitch to Chuck Fulmer, and that's in there for a called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded over to the shortstop, and he's dropped it as well. E6. That's an error on Wes Fisler. And scoring the run will be Dave Egler. Over to second goes Deacon White. And it's going to be... Oh, hold on. I just wrote that under William Johnson. That's Chuck Fulmer. That's going over to first. And it'll be 1-0 Cleveland so far. Evening/afternoon. What's up, Radioactive? Welcome in. Welcome in, Radioactive. I'm sorry, I missed it for a second there because you and Zig have the exact same color name in the chat, and I was like, "Oh, Zig," but then I realized that you've just come in. Welcome. Happy Sunday to you as well. That's going to bring up second baseman William Johnson here. First and second, 2 out here in the top of the first. That's inside for a ball, 1-0. Coach the GOAT Zanko. Welcome in, brother. Let me give you a shout out, man. Guys, on hiatus for a little bit for now, but give Coach Zanko a follow. Really good football manager streamer. Phenomenal football manager streamer, actually, and is the king, the undisputed king of the youth-only save. Definitely worth a follow. Give him some love. It's Coach Zanko. Welcome in, Coach. Hope you're doing. I know, you know. I was just saying, I hope you're doing well. I know things are hard, and you have my sympathy for that. I was about to say I apologize, but you know it's not the right word. But you know, outside of that, I hope you're doing well. Right, one ball, no strikes, and that is fouled. 1-1. Undisputed my ass. I'm legitimately questioning myself. I still want to play when FM till 26 comes out. Is it Derby Day in the MLB? What do you mean? Oh, because the Cubs are playing the White Sox, and the Angels are playing the Dodgers. Maybe because the Phils are playing the Pirates. So, you know, I know the Phils and the Pirates aren't in the same division, but they're both Pennsylvania teams. So there's a little bit of a rivalry there. Here's the 1-1. That's fouled. That'll be 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch.
Strike 3.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out, and that's going to end the inning. 2 strikeouts for George Zetlin. 1 run on 1 hit, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the first. It is 1-0 Cleveland. Due up first for Fort Wayne will be shortstop Dickie Flowers. Flowers is 3 for 8 so far this season, and he's got 3 RBIs. Nationals versus Orioles, Tigers versus Jays isn't really a huge rivalry though, but Nats O's definitely is. But yeah, you only say, would it be bad to deliberately bottle promotion if I feel we aren't ready? I would say no. You know, my idea would be no, because you want the TV money, don't you? I would assume you want the TV money. Right, first pitch to Dickie Flowers. That's in the inside corner for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's on the same corner for strike 2. That one's fouled. That's the 0-2 pitch fouled off. I've completed 3 youth academies online this year. Yeah. You don't need the money. Fair enough. You always need the money in FM, though. You can build better youth academy. You can build bigger stadium. You can build more expensive rod. Well, you can't. I mean, you're doing youth only, so. But still. I mean, unless your academy's not top of the line, then yeah. Here's the 0-2. That is taken outside for a ball. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Oh, you didn't have to. Radioactive. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. And Dickie Flowers will have a seat. You didn't need to, Radioactive, but welcome in, man. I hope you're well. I hope both you and Channel Not in Use are doing very well. Fair enough, Coach. Fair enough. I'm second tier of Portugal, by the way. Nice. That'll bring up Count Sessenter for the center fielder. He is 4 for 13 so far this season in the opening 2 games. He's asleep. Nice. Here's the first pitch. That's inside for ball 1. Here is the 1-0 pitch. That's grounded foul behind home plate. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That is outside for a ball. 2-1. It wasn't supposed to rain today, and all of a sudden it's gotten very dark outside. The 2-1 popped up into left field, but drifting foul. 2-2 to count now. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's foul. Still 2-2. But I don't know if we're getting a thunderstorm. He swung on and missed, and he struck him out. And Al Spalding has started his season with 2 straight strikeouts. That's going to bring up second baseman Jimmy Wood, who's 4 for 10 so far this season. He had a home run and 5 RBIs in his opening 2 games. Here's the first pitch. That's outside for a ball. 1-0. And it's the 1-0 pitch is taken low for a ball. 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, grounded back towards the shortstop. And that is going to count as a single. It just was hit. I thought maybe that was an error, but it looks like it was just hit with way too much force that the shortstop couldn't handle it. And the scores are going to give Jimmy Wood a single for that. So there's a man aboard with 2 outs. That'll bring up Steve King, the left fielder. He is 1 for 10 so far this season. Here's the first pitch. That's fouled. Back behind the screen. Here's the 0-1. Swung on a miss, and that'll be 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's out, taken low for a ball. Over to second. That's going to be a throwing error. Over to third will go Jimmy Wood. He gets credit for the stolen base. And that is an E2. It's going to count against the catcher. So Deacon White will have an error, a throwing error. And now that runner moves 90 feet away. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on right at the second baseman, who jumps up to make the catch. And that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit. They leave 1 aboard. We go to the top of the second. It is 1-0 Cleveland Forest Cities. Due up first for Cleveland will be the first baseman, Denny Mack. Let's see here. Here's the first pitch to Denny Mack. Taken low on the outside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's in the dirt. 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Inside 3-0. And Zetlin's got to get himself out of trouble here in this at-bat. 3-0 pitch. Outside for a ball. And Denny Mack is aboard with a walk to start the second inning. So 2 back-to-back leadoff base runners for the Cleveland Forest Cities. That's going to bring up right fielder John Glenn. Man went to the moon. We'll see if he can deliver a moonshot. Instead, he's going to bunt this down. Over to first goes the throw, and that's in time. So he sacrificed bunts to get the runner over to second base. 2-1 on the putout. I'm sorry, 2-3 on the putout. And that'll bring up third baseman Francis Abercrombie. Here's the first pitch. That's swung on over towards the left. It's a base hit. It just gets over the third baseman's head, and Francis Abercrombie is aboard with a base hit. Denny Mack will go to third on the single. And that gives Cleveland runners on the corners with just 1 out. That brings up Dave Egler back to the plate. He had a single and a stolen base his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. That's grounded over to the shortstop, over to second for 1, and they can't get the play at first, so it'll be an RBI. It's a 6-4 putout RBI for Dave Egler. Denny Mack will score on the play. Francis, actually, I'm sorry, it's not a, it's a fielder's choice. So it's a 6. I have to write this extremely small now. It's an RBI. He goes to first. It's a fielder's choice, 6-4. Francis Abercrombie is the man who goes out, but Denny Mack does score on the play, so it will be a 2-0 lead now for the Cleveland Forest Cities. That brings up Fred Cohn to the plate. He struck out looking his last at bat. Here's the first, over to first, and safe is the call. Here's the first pitch to Cohn. That's going to be lined. That's a base hit into left field. It's going all the way to the wall, and this should mean extra bases. Over to second goes Fred Cohn. He's got himself a stand-up double. Dave Egler will go to third on the play. I just did. And now runners on second and third with 2 out here. That brings up Deacon White. He reached via an error his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. That is outside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside again. 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on over to the first baseman. That's through. It's a base hit. Deacon White delivers. He's got himself a single. He's got himself an RBI. Fred Cohn's going to go to third. And scoring on the play will be Dave Egler. 3-0 Cleveland. I'm sorry. 4-0 Cleveland. Fred Cohn scored on the play as well. On a throwing error. That's what it is. Here is, that's going to be a base hit. Into left field, another base hit.
By my own code now.
Al Spalding is aboard with a base hit. Now, the floodgates might be opening up here against Fort Wayne. Kicker, guys. Oh, it's a raid from FMNL. Hello, guys. Welcome in. So I had the big ad banner that blocked the raid message. Welcome in, everybody. I am Benakage. This is Out of the Park Baseball. First off, let's give a couple shout-outs. Firstly, to the FMNL crew. Hey, thank you for the follow. Benny, some Cleveland representation. I understand what you're saying, Musterman. I mean, I would say there's history behind why they chose that name, and they tried to choose that name to actually honor somebody who was Native American, oddly enough, back in the day. So it's a bit of a it's not, I wouldn't say it's a clear-cut and dry thing, right? So the final Just Fishing, Mr. Geoducky has won. Let's go. Well, I gave a shout-out to FMNL who hosted the entire event, so definitely give them a follow. I know, I'm a Guardians fan. Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough. So, but we got a lot of shout-outs to give out. First off, I'm going to do a shout-out to one of the organizers who has just appeared in the chat, actually. Rowan on one. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody.
Come on,
Check him
come
out.
on, come on.
Rowan.
Come on, come on.
Great Football Manager streamer.
Play it in. Play him in.
He's currently
Play
taking the Wellington Phoenix.
Play Ward Prowse
He's put him in the Football League,
no,
and he's got
no,
him
that
up
is shit.
to
Ferguson.
I believe, Rowan, remind me in that Wellington Phoenix, I think you've got them up in the championship now, if I remember correctly. Or you were like just on the cusp of the championship. One of the two. I can't remember because it's been so long since I've been able to make a Wellington stream. That's what I thought. You're in the championship, yeah. So definitely give Rowan a follow. Also, the great, let's do Musterman, I'll get you as well, but let's do Kickert as well because Kickert streams. And Kickert's a really cool, chill guy. Absolutely love Kickert. So I also didn't stream. Yeah, I know you were on holiday. That's why I'm like, my memory, I can barely even remember 2 days ago. That's why I was like, wait a minute, I can't quite, you know what I mean? So, but real fun streamer is Kickert. Give them a follow. They are also a Football Manager streamer. Why didn't it pop up? I'll see if I can do it again in a few. The cooldown on it's only 30 seconds, so I don't know why that didn't pop up. But I'll do it again in a minute, Cricket. But welcome in. Let's explain what we're doing a little bit here for those that don't know. We're playing Out of the Park Baseball, which I understand is a very American thing. A lot of you guys might not know baseball. I mean, you know of baseball, but not know baseball, right? But the interesting thing with Out of the Park is they have all the historical players, teams, everything going all the way back to the first professional baseball league that formed in the United States, which was in 1871. So that's where we've chosen to start. So it is the 23rd of April, 1871. And the league itself, the professional leagues, will expand. They'll make it to another sim game, Benny. Oh, this is fantastic, this game. It's really frustrating, though. There's some parts about it that'll drive you nuts. But yeah, teams will fold like they do in real life. They will come into an expanded league like they do in real life. The league will expand its season to, XYZ number of games like it does in real life. All the players that are historically in the MLB going all the way back to the 1870s, they will come into the league when they did historically. I put their development paths as random, so we don't know if when we get Babe Ruth, he's going to be a phenomenal player. We don't know if we get, Mike Schmidt, if he's going to be a phenomenal player. They could be average, they could be duds, but we do know that they're going to come into the league at some point when they historically did. So that's what I think is really cool about this game. Is there's a lot of historical accuracy and also it's just neat to see it play out. But welcome in. So we're watching the Cleveland Forest Cities. This is their opening game of the season. They are at the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. So Fort Wayne are 2-0. They won both their home opener. They won both their games already at home. This is their third game at home as well, and they are down. They got runners on the. We got Cleveland with runners on the corners. We got Cleveland with 2 outs in this inning. Let me see if I can give you that proper shout out this time, Kicker. I fucking left a semicolon on the name. I'm awful at this. I'm actually a bad streamer. Exclamation point pro in the chat. Anyway, now I gotta wait another 30 seconds to do it. Let's get on with Chris Fulmer, who steps in. He takes first pitch for a ball. That's 1-0. Chris Fulmer, his first at bat, he reached on an error by the third baseman. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be down low for a ball. 2-0. Right. 2-0 pitch is over the plate, called strike. It'll be 2-1. So, also, by the way, for those, don't worry about it, man. Appreciate it still. I'll see if I can get you. I'm also scoring the game. So if you see me looking down a lot, it's because I'm filling out the actual stats book for the game we're commentating currently. Right. 2-1 pitch is going to be popped up over the third base side in foul territory, and it's gloved on by the third baseman, and that will retire the side. So, 3 runs on 4 hits, and they leave 2 men aboard. We go to the bottom of the second. It is 4-0 Cleveland. Due up first for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas, the third baseman, Henry Schaefer. I'm going to try one last time, Kicker. I'm going to try one last time. There you go. If it doesn't pop up, it means it can't pull a clip from your channel for some reason. I don't know why. Because the shout-out command is meant to pull a clip and display it on the stream. So if it's just having trouble pulling a clip, that's all it means. But yeah, give him a follow. Kicker's a wonderful streamer. Absolutely wonderful streamer. So welcome into Musterman as well. Welcome in Kicker. Welcome in everybody. Thank you for the raid. Congrats on a very... okay. Fair enough. That's why you didn't get the little pop-up. But congrats on running an amazing event, Rowan, and all of the FMNL crew. You know, Dan Tank and all of them as well. Phenomenal stuff. It was absolutely a pleasure to be a part of it. And it was just awesome to see so many Football Manager players, especially from one country like the Netherlands. So, right, let's get this bottom of the second inning. That's a swinging strike, so swing and a miss. It'll be 0-1 to start here for Henry Schaefer. Schaefer is 5-for-10 so far this season, but he's not got an RBI just yet. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's swung on foul back behind home plate. It will be 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's taken inside for a ball. 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That's high, ball 2. And Schaefer's fought the count back to even 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch now. Swung one, flied out towards right field. Right at the right fielder. Right at John Glenn. And that will be the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Wes Fizzler. He's the first baseman. He is 4-for-10 so far this season. He's also batted in 5 RBIs. So, last but not least, by the way, before the ads wind up coming up, let's give a shout-out to Musterman, who's also a phenomenal streamer. So, definitely check out Musterman. There we go.
Actually, technically, that's
apparently
made it better. We'll double it. We will double how much we need to raise before
well
we can
done,
consider.
Musterman. Well done. That's top-level Twitch content right there. But yeah, definitely give Musterman a follow as well. Really cool dude. All right. Here's the first pitch to Wes Fizzler. That is outside for a ball. Listen, I didn't even realize I had clips. Also approached me. Very nice. Very nice. Wes Fizzler. Here's the thing, Musterman note. Do you like Wes Fizzler, Dickie Flowers, or Count Sessendorfer the best? I'm quite partial to Count Sessendorfer. Or it's not even Sessendorfer, it's Sensendorfer. Sensenderfer. So Sensendorfer. It's incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. American names back then are crazy. That swung on and missed. That's going to be 1-1. So here's the 1-1 pitch. That is outside for a ball 1-1. Or 2-1, I should say. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one's taken for a called strike. 2-2. Anyone called Count gets my vote. That's true. Just the first name alone sets you up, right? So, we were talking about the Count von Count Memorial Castle just last week, by the way. So, I mean, it's right in line with that, you know. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on. That's flied into. That's going to be a base hit into center field. And aboard is Wes Fisler. He's got himself a single. And Fort Wayne have a base runner here in the bottom of the second. Sensendorfer is definitely the name of a man whose ancestors had to flee their old town and make up a new name to avoid being caught for something awful. There is a lot of that in U.S. history, actually, to be fair. Although, you say that, Musterman, but then he's left the first name of Count. Like, do you know what I mean? Here's the first pitch to Fergie Malone, and that's taken inside for a ball, 1-0. Malone is 4 for 10 so far this season. He's batted in 2 runs. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is taken inside for a ball. By the way, I know you guys, some of you guys might not know baseball, so if you have any questions about the sport, I'd be happy to answer them. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike, 2-1. Don't be afraid of, because this game is not, or because this sport tends to be overly American. I don't even want to say overly, because it's like played in like Venezuela. It's pretty popular in Venezuela and Cuba and Dominican Republic especially, and Japan, obviously, Korea as well. Australia's got quite. Here's my question: what the hell is going on? Okay, can you be a little bit more specific on where I should start, Mossman? So, runner on first, 1 out. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And it swung on and missed. That's 2-2. If you're trying to find serial killer John Jones, you'll never think he's now become Count Sessendorfer. What a comment. 2-2 is the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That's popped into center field. That will be a base hit. Back-to-back singles for Fort Wayne. And Fergie Malone is aboard with a single himself. So, right. That will bring up Dave Birdsall, the right fielder. Birdsall having a pretty phenomenal start to the season. He is batting .636. He's 7 for 11. He's got 5 RBIs so far this season as well. So, here's the first pitch. That's taken low for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch swung on. That's lined into left field. That's another base hit. And Dave Birdsall completes a string of 3 straight singles. And that is going to load the bases. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the second for Fort Wayne. Only 1 out, and that will bring up the pitcher, George Zetlin. George is 4 for 11 with 1 RBI so far this season. Here's the first pitch to George Zetlin. That is inside for a ball, 1-0. You guys are about to get the ads, by the way. Here's the 1-0 pitch. I'm going to bed. Have a good stream. Thank you, kicker. Over the second. Oh, he's dropped it. It's a throwing error. It's a throwing error on the shortstop. It is going to be Chuck Fulmer who collects the error. And scoring the run will be Wes Fisler. He comes home. Over to third goes Fergie Malone. Over to second goes Dave Birdsall. And Fort Wayne have got 1 back here in the bottom of the second inning. on an E6. An error on the shortstop. That brings up Dickie Flowers, who struck out his first at-bat. Here's the first pitch to Dickie Flowers. Grounded over to second base. Over to the shortstop for one. They cannot get the play at first base. So it will be a fielder's choice, an RBI for Dickie Flowers. It's a fielder's choice. It's a 4-6 on the putout. Scoring the run will be Fergie Malone. Over to third will go Dave Birdsall. George Zetlin's the runner that gets sacrificed. And Fort Wayne have pulled a second one back here. Runners on the corners now with 2 outs in the inning. Next up will be Count Sessendorfer, who struck out his first at bat. Here's the over to first, and that is the runner's back in time. Here's the first pitch. That's on the inside corner for a called strike. 0-1. Here's the pitch. That's high for a ball. 1-1. The throw back over to first, and the runner is back in time. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's high and inside for a ball. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's in the dirt. It's going to get by the catcher. He can't stop it. He drops the ball. It squirts behind him, and that'll allow the runner on third to come home. Dave Birdsall gets home on a pass ball. George Zetlin. I'm sorry, not George Zetlin. Beg your pardon. That'll give Dickie Flowers second base as well. And now Fort Wayne have gotten a third one back. And they have a runner in scoring position on second base with 2 outs. The count to Sessendorfer is 3-1. Here's the pitch. That's swung on, hit into left field. And that drifts foul. Benny, when is the next Counterlogic stream? Also got to say I'm loving the baseball. Thank you, Blockbuster. I don't know when the next Counterlogic stream is going to be. I haven't set my schedule for next week yet. I think it'll be the week after next because I'm still uploading the backlog of all the CLG videos, right? So, like, obviously when you guys see it, like when when I'm streaming it, I record every single match day as an independent video for YouTube. So if you go to the YouTube, every single match is a separate video, right? And when I've streamed, I've done like 9 or 10 games in a day. So I have a whole backlog of the games. I've gotten through most of those uploads now. But I have a few more. So I think I'm probably going to spend a week catching up on next week catching up on the uploads. And then the following week, I'll probably come back with CLGFC. So I wouldn't count on it next week, but I would count on it the week after. Especially because Wednesday, I'm at the football, and Saturday, I'm at the football as well. I have 2 games next week I'll be going to. I got a cup game on Wednesday, and I got a cup game on Saturday. So, right. The count's full for Count Sessendorfer. Here's the pitch. Swung on, grounded. Oh, good. He just couldn't stop it. I mean, that was hit like a rocket. So it has to be Sessendorfer has to get credit for the single, and he will. But it's a good stop by the shortstop. That had the potential to get extra bases. And the shortstop just dove to cut that down. He couldn't glove it and pick it up and get it to first, but he did at least knock it down and prevent additional bases there from Sessendorfer. So runners on the corners, 2 outs. That brings up Jimmy Wood. He had a single and a stolen base his first at bat. Here's the pitch. Over to first, actually, on the pickoff attempt, and he is back in time. Now here's the pitch. That's outside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is high for a ball, 2-0. Looked like Sessendorfer was ready to steal there, but he pulled back to second base. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's in there for a called strike, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's away, ball 3. The count's full. Here's the pitch. That's hit deep into center field. And right there is the center fielder. who makes the catch, and the side is finally retired. So 3 runs on 4 hits, and they leave 2 aboard. We go to the top of the 3rd. It is 4-1 for the Cleveland Forest Cities. Due up first will be William Johnson, who struck out his first at bat. Here's the first pitch. That is on the inside corner for a strike. It'll be 0-1. Right, the 0-1 pitch. Swung on. That's lined straight back over the pitcher's head. And William Johnson, for the 3rd straight inning, has given the Cleveland Forest Cities a leadoff runner. That brings up Denny Mack, who had a walk his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Denny Mack. That's taken inside for a ball. 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. It'll be 1-1. There's the 1-1 pitch. That's in the dirt for a ball. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. That's popped up into right field, drifting foul. And it will land over there. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Taken inside, ball 3. And the count has run full. 3-2. George Zetland on the mound with the payoff pitch. And that's fouled back. So staying alive is Denny Mack. Here's the pitch. That's popped up right behind home plate. Coming over as the 3rd baseman. He will make the play. And that does not give an opportunity for William Johnson to move anywhere. He'll be stuck on first. That'll bring up John Glenn, who grounded out his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. That is outside for a ball over to second, and it's a stolen base for William Johnson. Well, you knew he had the pace to run. And he delivered there with a stolen base. So it gets a runner in scoring position now with just 1 out. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's grounded foul. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's lined over to the 3rd baseman. Oh, he's dropped it. It's an E5. An error on the 3rd baseman. That is Henry Schaefer who commits the error. Going to second will be William Johnson. And Glenn is aboard. That brings up the 3rd baseman, Francis Abercrombie, who singled in his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. Swung on, grounded over to shortstop, on to second for 1, and on to first for a double play. 6-4-3 double play, and that is big for, that's very big for Fort Wayne, and that retires the side as well. So, no runs on 1 hit. They leave aboard 1. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Still 4-1 Cleveland. Due up first for Fort Wayne will be the left fielder Steve King, who lined out to the second baseman his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. That is inside for a ball. 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Swung on. And that's going to be a base hit. Steve King is aboard with a leadoff single. That brings up Henry Schaefer, who flied out to the right fielder, his first at bat. Here's the pitch. That is inside or outside for ball 1-0. The 1-0 pitch in there for a called strike. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's bunted back up towards the mound. Over to first. And it's a sacrifice bunt. It'll be 1-3 on the putout. It moves King into scoring position with just one out, which was the intended purpose of the bunt. And it brings up Wes Fissler. He had a single his last at bat. 10th, Shadow. What's going on, brother? Welcome in. Right. First pitch to Wes Fissler. That's popped up towards the shortstop, lined right at the shortstop. And that is the second out of the inning. First pitch, and he lined it right at the shortstop. That brings up Fergie Malone, who also singled in his last at-bat. Nothing much, just chilling nice. Same here. We're chilling, playing some baseball, commentating some baseball. First pitch to Fergie Malone is a called strike. Here's the over to second, and he's back just in time. Here's the first pitch. That's down low for a ball. 1-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. That's fouled back behind to the screen. It will be 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's popped up into center field. Going back on it is the center fielder, and he's got it just shy of the warning track. And that will retire the side. No runs, one hit. They leave one aboard. We go to the top of the fourth. 4-3 for the Cleveland Forest Cities. Due up first will be the center fielder, Dave Egler. He has a single and an RBI. He has a single and an RBI. He's 1 for 2 so far today. Here's the first pitch. That is down low for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, flied out towards left field. Coming in for it is the left fielder, and he's got it to make the play. That is Steve King getting credit for the putout. And that is the first out this inning. That brings up Fred Cone. He had a double in his last at bat. He's 1 for 2 with a strikeout as well. Here's the first pitch to Fred Cone. Inside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. It'll be 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Taken on the outside corner for a strike. It'll be 1-2 now. Here's the 1-2. Inside, ball 2. That was very close. Here's the 2-2. That's lined over towards left field, but foul. The 2-2. Taken outside for a ball, and the count is now full at 3-2. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, foul. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming up here. Here's the pitch. That's lined right at third base, and he will have it for an out. That's going to bring up Deacon White. He has a single with an RBI. He's 1 for 2 so far today. Here's the first pitch to Deacon White. Taken at the knees for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's taken down low for a ball. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That is high above the lettering, and that is going to be 2-1. 2-1 pitch. That's high again. 3-1. Counts one full, or I should say it's a hitter's count now. 3-1. Here's the pitch. And that's grounded over to the shortstop. On to first. In time, and that will retire the side. 3 runs. I'm sorry, 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is 4-3 for Cleveland. Due up first for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas will be the right fielder Dave Birdsall, who had a single in his only at-bat so far today. Here's the first pitch to Dave Birdsall. That's inside for a ball, 1-0. 1-0 pitch, in check swing. Did he go? First base umpire says no, and it will be 2-0. Here's the 2-0. That's grounded foul. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that's lined right back up the mound. That's going to get through for a base hit. And Dave Birdsall is aboard with a leadoff single. That'll bring up the pitcher, George Zettelin, who's 0 for 1 thus far. He reached on an error in the last at-bat. Got to watch the speed over at first base. There's a lot of potential here to steal second base from Birdsall. Here's the first pitch, or I should say throw over to first is not in time. Now here's the first pitch. That's a ball. Here comes the throw to second. It's not in time, and Birdsall, just like that, has stolen second base. Here's the 1-0. That's high. 2-0. 2-0 pitch, grounded foul. It'll be 2-1. Spalding's in his motion. He kicks and delivers. Fouled off, back behind home plate. It'll be 2-2 now. Counts even 2-2. Here's the pitch. That is way inside for a ball. 3-2. Full count now. Grounded back behind home plate again. Here's the 3-2. That is popped up into right field. That's going to be a base hit. And George Zettelin gives himself some help. He gets aboard with a base hit. That's going to move Dave Birdsall over to third base. And Fort Wayne have got runners on the corners now. Nobody out. That brings up Dickie Flowers, who takes ball 1 inside. Flowers is 0 for 2 so far. He struck out and grounded out on a fielder's choice. Over to first. Runner is safe there. Here's the pitch. Grounded foul to be 1-1. 1-1 pitch. And that's going to get by. The catcher doesn't stop it. It goes off of him, and coming in to score will be Dave Birdsall on a passed ball. George Zettelin goes to second. It just hit off the catcher's chest plate, and it ricocheted behind him. Allowed the runner to come in. And this game has been tied up here in the bottom of the 4th. Runner in scoring position now, still nobody out. Here's the pitch. That's swung on. That's going to be a base hit in the left field. That gets down. And Dave Flowers is aboard with a base hit for the first time today. Oh, my goodness. That's going to move George Zettelin over to third. I recorded that in the wrong. I broke my pencil, like you know how it is with these things. The lead breaks sometimes, and I broke it and then re-recorded it on the wrong ending. Hold on, there we go. That brings up Count Sessendorfer. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. over to first, and runners back in time. Here's the first pitch. That's in there for a called strike. 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on, grounded back up towards second base. Oh, it's thrown too hard. The second baseman threw too hard over to the shortstop. Shortstop couldn't handle it. And Sessendorfer will get a board via an error. Coming to the score will be Zetlin. And Fort Wayne have taken the lead. It's an error on the second baseman, which is William Johnson. He's going to get credited for the error. It's the third error now for Cleveland. Both teams with 3. And it's first and second now, and still nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be hit into right field. Right fielder coming in, and he's going to glove it. That's going to be the first out of the inning. That was Jimmy Wood. He was 1 for 2, now 1 for 3. And finally an out recorded. That brings up Steve King. He's 1 for 2. He had a single in his last at bat. Here's the pitch. Double steal going on, and no throw. No throw. They both get credited. Why did I put 3B? That should be SB. They both get credited with a stolen base. Right, here's the 0-1 pitch. That's taken outside for a ball. 1-0, or 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Grounded back up towards towards second base. And not in time. They can't get to it in time. It's an infield single for Steve King. He's going to get credited with an RBI. Because coming in the score will be Dickie Flowers. And over to third will be Count Sessendorfer. And so King has got himself an RBI single here in the 4th. It is 6-4 now. That brings up Henry Schaefer. He flied out and ground out. His only 2 at-bats so far. First pitch is a ball, and the attempted steal is Steve King is out at second on the attempted steal. So that is out number 2. Here comes the pitch to Harry Schaefer. Swung on, grounded over to third base. On to first, in time, and that retires the inning. So, 3 runs on 4 hits. And they leave 1 aboard. We go to the top of the 5th. It is now 6-4 for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Due up first for Cleveland will be the pitcher, Al Spalding. He's 1 for 2 so far this game. Here's the pitch. On the outside corner for a strike. It'll be 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. At the knees for a called strike. 0-2 now. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Taken outside for a ball. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's popped up right to the first baseman. And he will make the play. That'll bring up Chuck Fulmer. He is 0 for 2 so far with a pop out, and he reached via an error. Here's the first pitch. On the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed. It'll be 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Taken high for a ball, 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That's chop foul behind home plate. It'll remain 1-2. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball, 2-2. Counts even 2-2. This one's popped up into right field. Drifting foul. And he does not make the catch. It drifts foul. 2-2 swung on and missed. He struck him out. And Fulmer is down on strikes. It's the third strikeout for Zetland today. Next up will be William Johnson. He's 1 for 2 with a single, a strikeout, and a stolen base. Here's the first pitch. That's inside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Grounded back over towards the second baseman. On to first, and that'll retire the side. No runs, no hits, no men left. We go to the bottom of the fifth. It is 6-4, Fort Wayne. Due up first for the Kekiongas will be the first baseman, Wes Fissler, who's 1 for 2 today with a single and a line out to the third baseman. Here's the first pitch. Check swing. Third baseman says he went, and that'll be a strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Taken inside for a ball, 1-1. So the 1-1 pitch. Grounded over to first base. And right in front of the bag, it'll be taken himself, and that'll be the first out of the inning. That brings up Fergie Malone. He's singled and flied out in his 2 at-bats so far today. Here's the first pitch. Taken inside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, grounded over to second. On to first, in time, and that is the second out of the inning. Coming up will be Dave Birdsall. He is 2 for 2 with 2 singles and a stolen base. And first pitch is in there for a called strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. It'll be 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Lined right at first base, and that will retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. We go to the top of the 6th. They still lead it by a score of 6-3. Due up for Cleveland will be Denny Muck, who is 0 for 1 thus far with a pop-up and a walk. Sorry, 6-4 they lead it. 6-4. Sorry. Here's the first pitch to Muck. That's taken on the outside corner for a strike. It'll be 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Down low for a ball, 1-1. 1-1 pitch. That's taken at the knees for a called strike, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's popped up into left center field. That might find a gap. It will. It's going to go all the way out to the wall. It'll be extra bases for Muck, who gets into second base with a double. And for the 4th time in this game, Cleveland have a leadoff runner. This time in scoring position. That brings up John Glenn, who reached an error and grounded out. He's 0 for 2 thus far. Here's the first pitch. Outside, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. In there for a called strike, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's popped up. That's going to go over the second baseman's head. It's a base hit. And John Glenn, it wasn't a moonshot, but he's at least gotten Denny Muck over to third. And now it's runners on the corners. Nobody out for Cleveland. It brings up Francis Abercrombie, the third baseman. He has a single and grounded into a double play his last at bat. Here's the pitch. That's flying out into left center field. Can they get to it in time? No, it's going to trap. It's a base hit. It's going to be extra bases. Abercrombie's come through. He gets a double on the play. Scoring will be Denny Muck, and John Glenn will be held up at third. So 2 runners in scoring position now for Cleveland. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th. A big opportunity for them to potentially reclaim the lead. Here's Egler stepping in. He's going to take the first pitch for a strike. Dave Egler is 1 for 3. He's got a single with a stolen base. He had an RBI on a fielder's choice, and he flew out to left field. Here's the 0-1. That is inside for a ball, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's popped up into center field. Gloving it there is the center fielder, and tagging up will be John Glenn. He scores the run. And Dave Egler has got a pop-up to the center fielder, but an RBI sac fly for the first out of the inning. And Cleveland have tied this. Sac fly, yeah, sac fly ball. It's short for sacrifice fly ball. So on a fly ball, on anything in the air, you're not allowed to leave the base. So for example, if I pop a ball up and it's caught and I'm off the base that I was on, let's say I'm on second base, right? Let's say I'm on second base like Francis is here, and the ball gets popped up into the air and I run to third base. If it's caught, I have to go back to second base and touch second base before I advance a base. So what they do is, if you're on third and there's less than 2 outs, right, and the ball's hit deep into the outfield, you don't start running, and you wait there and you wait there and you hold, and then the moment the ball is caught, then you run down to the next base, and it's called tagging up. Well, if you score a run that way, it's called a sacrifice fly. Oh, I know what you mean. I've seen the movie The Sandlot. I'm a baseball pro. What's up? Nice. So, but everybody, shorthand, everyone just calls it sac fly. What are you doing here? The only people in the world that understand baseball less than the British is the Irish. Listen, I'm telling you, man, ask questions. So, it's a fun, chill sport, man. So, it's like cricket, but I mean, you score it. You know what I mean? You have runs. You have runners. It's great. It's a great game. That'll bring up Fred Cohn. He is 1 for 3. He has a double, a strikeout, and he lined out to the right fielder. Nice, Cully. Right. Runner on second, 1 out. Here's the first pitch to Fred Cohn. That is taken for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Outside for a ball, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's swung on into left field. Is it going to stay fair? No, it just drifted foul. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Taken outside for a ball. Now 2-2. The 2-2. Popped up right at the third baseman, and that is going to be the second out of the inning. Are Cleveland doing well, Benny, or are they just shit in all sports? Do you mean in this game, or do you mean IRL? Because I'm pretty sure IRL they're doing okay. I'm pretty sure the Indians are like both. This is their opening game of the season. And IRL, they're 25-21. They are the only reason they are not leading their division at 25-21 is because the Tigers are 31-16. So 25-21 is not bad, but that division. So the Detroit Tigers. So the Cleveland Guardians are in the American League Central Division, right? Here's who's leading the division. The Detroit Tigers are top, 31-16, right? Then it's the Minnesota Twins, who are 5 games back at 26-21. Then it's Cleveland, the Cleveland Guardians, who are 5.5 games back at 25-21. The Royals, the Kansas City Royals, are also 5.5 games back at 26-22. And then at the bottom of the division is the Chicago White Sox, who are 14-33. So literally 4 teams in that division have a winning record. Like, that is just a tough, tough division. It's almost as tough as the national. Actually, honestly, the National League West is really tough as well this year. Yeah, those 2 divisions are. It's because Minnesota's known as Minnesota is. There's a I don't know. St. Paul and Minneapolis are known as the Twin Cities because they're, I think, close to each other. So Minnesota are the Twins, and it's a play on the Twin Cities that they're nicknamed after. So this is Deacon White. He is 1 for 3 with an RBI so far. Here's Deacon White. It's going to be. They've walked him. They've intentionally walked him. They've intentionally walked Deacon White, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Al Spalding. Al is 1 for 3 so far with a single and 2 pop-ups. Here's the first pitch. That is in there for a called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's inside for a ball, 1-1. I think it's called the Twin Cities mainly because if you think about Minnesota, that's literally like the only 2 cities in Minnesota. Like, the only cities of any size in Minnesota are St. Paul and Minneapolis. Like, that's it. So the Sandlot didn't prepare enough for all this. Is there a big dog outside the stadium? No. Also, Cully, we're not playing the current year. This is the year is 1871 in the game. So these teams are accurate. These are historical teams, but they're historical teams from 1871. Right, 1-1 is the pitch. Here's the pitch. That is grounded foul. Oh, no, he will, honestly, Cully, when we get to those years, which I think he came in the league 1910, yes, he's going to become a player. As you play the seasons, all the historical players will come into the league. All the historical teams that the MLB expands to will come into the league. All the teams that fold will fold out of the league as well.
I intend to live by my own code now.
Going to be awesome. The Goodya. Welcome in, Dave. How was the stream? How was Corn, man? Wise. What's up, Goodya? Man, what's up, Goodya? Guys, give Dave a follow. He's down here.
We're in the red.
And he's also up there. Great Football Manager streamer.
That's okay. That's fine.
That is a sub. Oh, my goodness me.
Right, here we go. First minute.
Thank you for the sub, Dave. Super appreciative, brother. How are you, buddy? I'm okay. I'm a little sore. My arm's really burnt. Like, I got really sunburnt yesterday, so actually it, like, hurts a little. Like, it's the soreness. If you ever gotten sunburn, how it's a little sore the day after. That's what I got in my right arm, which is killing me because that's usually the arm I hold the mic in. So, we're fighting through it all. But we're doing good, man. We're doing good. What do we got here? 96. Okay, cool. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Spalding. And that's outside for a ball, 2-2. Oh, yeah, usually every year when I go away. Not according to that profile picture that you gave D-Boy for the Holsworthy save. You got a big old tan in that one, man. Got the big shades going as well, the Mallorca shades. There you go. Here's the 2-2. That is grounded foul. It'll remain 2-2. So how's Corn, man? 2-2 pitch outside, ball 3. And now it is the count's full. 3-2 here, 2 outs. Runners are going.
Strike 3.
And he swung on and missed. He struck him out. And that will retire the side. So it is 2 runs on 3 hits, and they leave 2 aboard. We go to the top or the bottom of the 6th. We got ourselves a tie game here at 6 apiece. Knocking on the door. I saw that you were. Oh, wow. I saw that you were in like a playoff spot, like a 6th or something like that. But now that you're knocking on the door of them, good Lord, man. I was afraid you were going to have a season of like having like, I don't want to say mediocrity, but you know when a team comes up and you're looking for that first season of like stability. I was afraid you were going to have to do that because I know you had to really cut a lot of your wage budget for the financial fair play rules. Right, due up first for Fort Wayne will be the pitcher George Zetlin. He is 1 for 2 so far with a single, and he reached via an error. We need to consult. Yeah, that's the fear, right? Is that like if you do go up, are you going to get absolutely smoked in League One? You know what I mean? So, and here is the first pitch. That is down low for a ball. 1-0. How do you decide what games to commentate? Well, it's the only game. The in-game date, Cully, is the 23rd of April. 1871, and it's the only game that day. So if there's games that are, some days you get games that are like 2 or 3 going on at the same time, and then I'll kind of decide who have we not commentated recently, you know what I mean? So that's what I'd pick on. But it is 1871, so there's only 9 teams in the league. 1-1 pitch is on the outside corner for, or the 1-0 pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. It'll be 1-1. Here's that is. But are you hardly doing a game every week for 100? I mean, this is game 4 so far, and I've streamed less than a week of this. That's inside for a ball. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That is. Big pop-up, big drive into center field. Over there is the center fielder, and that will be the first out of the inning. Dave Egler gets credit for the put-out in center field, and it's 1 down here in the, I wrote that in the 7th, not the 8th, or not the 6th. Whoop. Fly out, 8. That'll bring up Dickie Flowers. He is 1 for 3 with a stolen base and an RBI as well. It's going to be a long haul, Cully. It's going to be a real long. If you know anything about me, which I've been streaming to the Football Manager community for about 14 months, is that I love a project. The CLG save is 14 months old. I'm only in the 10th division, you know. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say, you know. Here's Dickie Flowers' first pitch to him is taken below the knees for a ball. 1-1 or 1-0. I think Ziggs picked up on that right away. So here's 1-0 pitch. That's outside for a ball. 2-0. Well, I know you for a few months, but yes, from the FM I see you play. It seems like you're committed. I just love long projects. I always have. what do you call it? Ziggs picked up on that a little bit because even he said, like, of all the things I could have done in out-of-the-park baseball, to pick 1871 to start in, he goes, that is what he told me. He was like, that's 100% a Benny thing to do. And I'm like, you know what? I can't argue against that. He's probably right. 2-0 pitch here coming to Dickie Flowers. Swung on. That's popped right at the second baseman, and that'll be gloved for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Count Sessendorfer. He is 1 for 3 with a single and a stolen base and a strikeout. Here's the first pitch. That is below the knees for a ball. Go on, go the count. Is that how the umpire has to tell him? Is like instead of 1 ball, it's like 1 ball, 0 strikes. Here's the 1-0. That's outside for a ball. 2-0. On the scoreboard, what does our runs, hits, and errors? So the runs are obviously like that's the score. Like it's a tie game, 6-6. And then Cleveland have 9 hits. Fort Wayne have gotten 10 hits, and both teams have made 3 errors. So, and then all the numbers to the left, that's obviously the score by inning. So Cleveland scored in the top of the front. Then when the count is angry, he just dips the O on his name. Nice. Very nice, Walsman. Does hits and errors matter? It just kind of doesn't matter. Not really. I mean, runs are obviously the most important thing. That's how you win the game, right? But it kind of tells the story of the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can you're going to have games where teams have 12 hits and they score 2 runs. And it tells you that you have to, like, find a way to put it all together, you know? No, you don't. No. If you hit the ball, you do not have to run. Oh, do you have to run? Yes. Yes. Is an error? No, an error is like an error that you make. You do have to run if you hit the ball, Mossman, yes. An error is like a play that you're expected to make that you do not make that leads to a base runner or a additional base. So, for example, if I'm the second baseman and I have a ground ball that's hit to me, I'm expected to make the play on it, right? Like most people will pick up the ball, throw to first, get the out. If I bobble it and I can't pick it up cleanly and throw it to first, and the runner gets to first base and he's safe, then it's considered an error because instead of handling the ball cleanly, you bobbled it. You know what I mean? So that sounds like an unforced error in tennis kind of way. Exactly. If it's that's a perfect way of putting it, Mossman. If you make an unforced error, essentially, then it gets resulted as an error. So here is the 2-0 pitch. And that's grounded over to the second baseman. On to first, and that's in time for the final out of the inning. 4-3 on the put. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the 7th, and we are tied at 6 apiece. Me trying to understand this makes me feel like a newborn baby trying to hold my head up. Due up first for Cleveland will be Chuck Fulmer. He is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Right, Benny, off the bed for me. Catch you later. Thank you for the raid, Goodya. Have a wonderful evening, brother, and have a great start to your week tomorrow, man. Take care of yourself. That's why. God damn it. Right. Here is the first pitch. That's on the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is lined right. That's over the second baseman's head. It is a base hit. And for the 5th inning out of 7 in this game, Cleveland get a leadoff base runner. Big up the land. The land, come on. What? Big up the land? Oh, Cleveland. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Took me a minute to figure that out. Right. That brings up William Johnson. He is 1 for 3 with a stolen base and a strikeout. Here is the first pitch. That's taken at the knees for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. It'll be 1-1. Shout out to 216. Let's go. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's grounded over towards the second baseman. On to second for 1. They can't get the play at first, so it will be a fielder's choice for William Johnson. 4-6 on the putout, and there is one away here in the top of the 7th. This brings up Danny. Throw over to first, and that is runners back in time. That brings up Denny Muck. He is 1 for 2 so far, with a double and a walk. Throw back over to first in time, or not in time. The runner is safe. Here's the first pitch. That is pop foul. It'll be 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Taken high and away for a ball, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's popped up right at the pitcher's mound. And the shortstop calls for it, and he will glove it for the second out of the inning. Is it bad I know the area code from an old MGK song? No, I don't think so. That brings up John Glenn, who is 1 for 3 so far. He has a single. Throw over to first. And runner's back. Here's the first pitch. Grounded over towards the pitcher. On to first in time, and that is the inning. 1-3 on the putout. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's 7th inning stretch time here in Fort Wayne, and it is still 6-6. You know what it is. We got to get up. We got to stretch it out. It's 7th inning stretch time, which means it's time for a rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Enjoy. There you go. 7th inning stretch. And always a tradition. Take me out to the ball game. Whoa, I don't want to play it again. Stop. What the hell? Right. Well, I have tapped back into Firefox to play that. Let me close the tabs of like the streams I had open. Like Goodja, who rated. So, I think Sean went offline too. Yes, he did. Okay, cool. Right. Let's get back into OBS. Are you winning? What's up, Crack? What did you guys say? No, Coley, it's not bad. It is bad, however, that you listen to MGK. What is MGK? I don't even know what MGK is. So, I like that there's a Twitch emote, Machine Gun Kelly. Oh. I just had an old man moment. I just had an old man moment right there. Right. That's going to bring up Jimmy Wood, who is going to be the first batter here in the bottom of the 7th for Fort Wayne. He is 1 for 3 so far. with a single and 2 flyouts. He takes ball 1. Here's that's going to be grounded back over to second base, on to first in time, and that is the first out of the inning. So 4-3 on the put. We now need baseball emote. Listen, if I wasn't paying off the trip to the Olympics, I would 100% get baseball emotes, because for those of you that are subbed, you have the VAR emote, which is winning. Are you winning? Crack, this isn't my none of these are my teams. I'm Rockford. But this emote that was done by Dreamster, my full intention is, if they're willing to take the commission, obviously, some point at the end of next year or halfway through next year, I want to commission them, because I'm going to need a yellow card emote, a red card emote, maybe a goal emote, baseball emote, definitely. It would be nice. Right, that's going to bring up Steve King. He is 2 for 3 today with an RBI. He was caught stealing his last time up. First pitch, that's popped up into right field. Right at the right fielder, and that'll be the second out of the inning. So, that brings up Henry Schaefer. He is 0 for 3 today with a flyout, 2 groundouts. And 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. That one's inside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's popped up into left field. And that is going to be gloved for the final out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Fort Wayne. We go to the top of the 8th, and we are still locked at 6 runs apiece. Mossman with the prime sub. What's going on, man? Thank you so much. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate it, man. You get that lovely VAR emote now, by the way. So anytime anybody says something that's definitely sus, hit them with it. You are 100% encouraged to hit them with the VAR emote. 2 up for the Cleveland Forest Cities in the 8th is going to be third baseman Francis Abercrombie. He is 2 for 3. He's got a single, a double, an RBI. Here's the first pitch. And that is a swing and a miss for a strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded back over towards the second baseman. On to first, and that's in time for the first out of the inning. That brings up Dave Egler. He is 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. First pitch to him. That's taken low and outside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. On the inside corner for a strike. It'll be 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Taken on the outside corner for strike 2. Here is the 1-2 pitch. That's grounded foul right at the third base side. And wait, Cully as well. Wow. Oh my God, it's a hype train as well. Did that play? Did that not play? Oh no, that did play. Sorry. Thank you very much, Cully. Wow, man, you guys are crazy. A hype train in this channel? You guys are crazy. Thank you very much, Cully. Thank you very much. That is that's insane, man. I appreciate all the support. It's been it blows me away, man. It actually does. So, hold on. Gully just had to copy me. Nice. Right. It is. I'm all out of sorts here between the support and I was here first. Most nice. Here's the 1-2. And it's taken high and away for a ball. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that is lined into center field. Coming in for diving and making the play is the center fielder. He had to absolutely reach out for that one, but he makes the play. And that retires 2 here in the 8th. Here's Fred Cone. First pitch taken out on the outside corner for a strike. It'll be 0-1. Oh my God. Stop. You got Raz got us one. Wow. We have to gotta support my head performance, Alice. I appreciate that, Mossman. I understand. It actually blows my mind because I understand that some of the games I play are not necessarily very interesting to a lot of people, like baseball, for example. That's down low for a ball, 1-on-1. You know, so the fact that you guys come here during those streams absolutely blows my mind. It's fantastic. So I just love doing this kind of stuff. That's going to be fouled off behind home plate for a second strike. So it'll be 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That is down low for a ball. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's down and in for a ball. It'll be 3-2. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, grounded over to second baseman. On to first in time, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Oh my God, Coley. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 6-6. Coley. Thank you so much, man. Gifted a sub to Dadsons. Gifted a sub to Raz. Need to get the level 2. I appreciate that, man. I feel the same way. When I support in hype trains, I'm like, you know what? What's an extra? Boop, there you go. So I get it, man. I appreciate it so much. This is you guys are crazy. Okay, you guys are flipping crazy. I thought I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy, but you guys are also crazy. But thank you so much, Cully. I appreciate it, brother. It blows my mind, man. It blows my mind. Due up in the bottom of the 8th for Fort Wayne is first baseman Wes Fissler. Where's all this love when I stream? Hey. Wes is 1 for 3 so far. Mossman, we're in your stream every day, bro. Don't let him bully you. You don't deserve it. Of my wages. Jesus Christ, that's a foul ball. I know, Benny. No. No. It's not a competition. It never is. I completely lost track of everything I'm doing. And I'm getting flustered. I'm so flustered. 0-1. Thank you very much, Cully. And Mossman, and Gutcha, and Rowan, who rated, and everybody else. It's been fantastic. That was fouled away. It is 0-2 now to Wes Fissler. He's arguing over wages in the stream. That's outside for a ball. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's grounded foul. Here's the 1-2. That's taken inside for ball 2. That's popped up right at the catcher. And that will be the first out of the inning. So Fissler's retired. That brings up Fergie Malone. 1 for 3 so far today. While you're on 30K, don't make sense. Don't make me mad, Moss. This is like that moment out of that movie. You're getting $300,000 and you were only going to pay me 30? You're getting 30? I'm getting $1,000. You guys are getting paid? I can't remember the name of that movie offhand. This one's chopped right back. It's popped up. I don't know why the first baseman is coming. That's one of the quirky things about this game is for some reason a pop-up that should be the catcher's, the first baseman is to come all the way over to get. But it is still going to be the second out getting. That's Malone retired. That brings up Dave Birdsall. He is 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a stolen base. Oop. That's going to be a called strike. We have a substitution. It is not Dave Birdsall. It is going to be Charlie Smith who comes in. So Charlie Smith coming in. He's got a hit in his only at bat so far this season. And here's the pitch that's low and inside for a ball. 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's going to be in there for a strike. Oh my God, Mossman. Is that Mavis? Nice. This reminds me of the Witcher games. The author sold the rights for $10K instead of a percentage of profit because they didn't believe in the developers. Let's just say bad decisions. Yeah. Tell me about it. That is a bad decision, especially since those games absolutely. That's a shame. Gonna make Moss regret my low wage when I go win leagues against him. Oh my God. Right. 1-2 to Charlie Smith. Here's the pitch. That is down low for a ball. 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Swung on. That's lined into right field. Going back on it is the right fielder. That's onto the wall. One hop from the warning track. And that is a big double. A pinch hit double for Charlie Smith. And Fort Wayne have a base runner. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Why is my Twitch chat bugging? There we go. Thank you very much, Moss. Thank you very much, Cully and Dave. Words cannot nearly express the level of gratitude I have towards you both. Don't be silly, Cully. What team is going to give you manager position? Choo-choo. Nice. My stats are OP now. Well, we'll see. It's always interesting to me how the manager's stats change in that game. Right, this is going to be George Zetlin, the pitcher. He is 1 for 3 so far. Only because I used the editor for you? Wow. That's going to be in there for a strike. 0-1. I know that stuff is loud. I'm going to see, actually, let me see if I can just, because I have it on, I think, 150. So I don't know if that's like music volume or if that's technically ambient noise. So I'll drop ambient down to 150 and I'm going to drop music to 130. We know you're an editor. My save, that's when I tell people, like, don't say I'm a good football manager player and don't ask me for advice because my CLGFC save has a grotesque amount of editor usage. Right. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded over towards the shortstop. On to first in time, and that will retire the side. So no runs on one hit. They leave one aboard. We go to the top of the 9th, and we are still tied at 6. Due up first for Cleveland Forest Cities will be the left fielder Fred Cohn. Or I'm sorry, the catcher Deacon White. He was intentionally walked his last time up. I'm just a manager that uses all the tools they has. Nice, I like that, Mossman. Very nice. 1 for 3 so far today. Here's the first pitch to Deacon White. That's grounded over towards the first baseman. And the pitcher comes over to help make the play. So 3-1 on the putout at first base. And that'll bring up Al Spalding, the pitcher. He is 1 for 3. He's got a single, 2 pop-ups, and a strikeout. Here's the first pitch. Swung on. That's lined up over into center field. It's a base hit. Al Spalding gets himself aboard here in the top of the 9th. What do you think of Palace winning the FA Cup? All we need is Spurs to beat Man United for the small clubs to win the leagues. I'm very happy that Palace won. I'm super happy Palace won. I am a West Ham fan. I should, by very nature, hate Spurs, and I do. No offense, Mossman. And I should, by nature, want Spurs to lose. However, I really like Ange Postecoglou and his personality as a manager. And I think he's faced a lot of hate this season from Spurs fans, from the league, from fans within the league, everything else, a lot of criticism. And I think I would like to see him win this trophy, win the Europa League, so that he can turn around and, all the memes that he said about winning something in his second year and all those memes can be put to bed because you would get Spurs in the Champions League. I would like to. I mean, once they get in the Champions League next season, I would want them to do fuck all there. But I think it would be great if he manages to get Spurs in the Champions League. I think it would be a nice story. So it's just nice for small clubs like Spurs to win some. But Spurs have had the worst season in the Prem. Lowest we ever had been is 14th. I understand that, but you're talking to a West Ham fan that we had to literally beat Chelsea to survive relegation and win the Conference League, I know your shit's stirring. I'm just saying I would like to see it. I actually would like to see it. So a lot of West Ham fans aren't going to think the same way, but I don't care. Moss isn't biting. He knows. Right, runner on first. Here's Fulmer. And he's taking a ball. Oh, and almost a pass ball there. Almost got by the pitcher. Here's Chuck Fulmer. He is 1 for 4. He has a single and a strikeout. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Popped up. And just into the outfield goes the second baseman, and that will retire Fulmer. And that will bring up William Johnson here in the top of the 9th. He is 1 for 4 with a single and a strikeout. Also reached via fielder's choice. Here's the first pitch. That is taken high and away, but in the zone for a strike. It could be worse. I could be a Leeds fan. You could be a Luton fan. They've had it horrible these last 2 seasons, Yes, then you would support a club that's the right. Here's the pitch. That's going to be lined over, and that is going to be right at the first baseman. He takes it to the bag himself, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit. They leave 1 aboard. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It is a 6-6 ball game. Due up first for Fort Wayne, it's the top of the order, and the shortstop, Dickie Flowers, who is 1 for 4 today. He's got an RBI, a stolen base, and a strikeout. So this is it. This is the bottom of the 9th here. Dickie Flowers. Here's the play. And he lines that right at the shortstop for the first out. First pitch he takes, he swings, and he lines it right at the shortstop, 1 away. I'm trying hard right now to take. I know, yeah. That brings up Count Sessendorfer, everyone's favorite name. He has a chance to win it here in the bottom of the 9th. He is 1 for 4 so far. Here's the first pitch. That's taken outside for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Oh, he's been hit by the pitch. And so Al Spalding has beamed him, and Sessendorfer gets aboard here in the bottom of the 9th. The winning run is on first. That brings up Jimmy Wood. He is 1 for 4. He had a single back in the first inning. Here's the pitch. That's down low for a ball. 1-0. Here it is. That's a line drive in the right field. Does it stay fair? No, it just goes foul. There's a reason for the sit. Is there for sliding? It helps the sliding. Because when you slide with baseball, it's not like obviously they slide on grass in football, but when you slide in baseball, you're using your hands to touch the bag, right? Grab for the bag and all that stuff. So it's less harsh on your body, especially your arms, to be sliding on the dirt, right? But does it not make you slow at running? No, because the shoes they have the spikes that help them run. So, but yeah, it's not sand made, it's gravel. Yeah, what's up, Knopfler? Welcome in. Knopfler, you stream, right? You stream is, if I remember correctly, you stream. Do I follow you? Hold on. I thought I did. I don't. Oh shit, I gotta go. Hi. Can't believe someone actually streams. No, I don't stream. Okay. Can't believe somebody actually streams OOTP. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Right. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's lined up. That's a base hit. It's a base hit for Jimmy Wood. Count Sessendorfer goes to second, and now there's a runner in scoring position with one out here in the bottom of the ninth. No, don't be sorry. I love the game. Probably the only European who does. The level of detail is crazy. It's actually crazy. So this brings up Steve King. He is 2 for 4 with an RBI. No, Benny, we want Cleveland to win. I know, but I don't control the game. Here's King. He's going to hit that. That's going to be a base hit. It's a base hit. Steve King gets the single. Going to second is Jimmy Wood. Count Sessendorfer's on third. No, I am not playing. I am Rockford Forest Cities. So I'm not. This is neither of my teams. So I'm 0-1. I got smoked by the Phils in the opener. Let me see real quick. Let me go back to that game very quickly. Because I played the Philadelphia Athletics in my opener, and I lost 17-4. So I lost 17-4, and we made 8 errors, and Philly had 2. So yeah, I got pretty rocked in the opener. Bases loaded, 1 out here, and that brings up Henry Schaefer, who was 0 for 4 today. He's not gotten a hit today. It says down there 0 for 3, but I have him 0 for 4 because he flied out in the second. He went 1-3 on the put out, so that's a ground out in the third. He went 5-3 in the fourth. That's a ground out, and he flied out to left field. So 8. Yeah, I had 8. Yeah, although not flirt. This is 1871. So I started a historical season instead of current season, and we went right to the beginning of baseball. Right, Henry Schaefer has a chance to be a hero. Here's the first pitch. That is down and away for a ball. When no one defended. Got it. Nice. So here's the 1-0 pitch. That is outside, ball 2. I know. Graphically, they're not historically accurate. Here's the 2-0. That's going to be popped up into center field. It could bring the run home. Center fielder, he's going to make the play. He's got to throw to first. I don't think it's going to be in time. It won't be in time. It's a sacrifice play. And coming home to score is Count Sessendorfer. And the Fort Wayne Kekiongas will win it in the bottom of the ninth on a sacrifice fly And that is the end of the inning. Count. The count scores. He comes home. He scores the run. Sacrifice fly. It's an RBI for Henry Schaefer. And that is the end of the ball game. 7-6. The Fort Wayne Kekiongas will go 3-0 in the season. The Cleveland Forest Cities will start their season 0-1. There's still 31 games left, Cully. There's still 31 games left. We're gonna go over the score sheet now real quick. The only thing I'm gonna actually use the game for is the pitcher statistics, which I need this. So innings pitched 8.2 for Al Spalding. He gave up the pitch count for him was 130. He gave up what did he give up? 1, 5, 6, 10, 11, 13 hits I have him giving up. Did he give up any base on balls? I don't have any base on balls. I do have a hit by the pitch. I don't think that counts as a base on balls. It doesn't. No. Hit by the pitch is different. So no base on balls. He struck out he struck out 2 in the first. And then he had a strikeout later, I think, didn't he? No, that was the other pitcher. So he struck out 2 in the first. So he had 2 strikeouts. Runs were 7. Earned runs were 3. So that's what he finished with. I hate the Dodgers. Lost them 2 years in a row in the championship series with my Cubs. Can we please get rid of them? Your hatred of the Dodgers is justified because I can't stand the Dodgers. And I don't like the fact that basically it's them and the Yankees that are just starting to payroll and dominate baseball. 9 innings pitched for George Zetlin. He finished with a pitch count of 131. Or no, I'm sorry, 129 I had him with. So 129 was the pitch count. He did walk. He had 2 walks. Based on ball 2. He struck out 3 though. He struck out 1 looking and 1 swinging in the first, and then he struck out 1 swinging in the 6th. So he had 3 strikeouts. Hits 1, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 hits. They have 11, but I didn't, unless I did not count a hit. I'm pretty sure he only had. Did I miscount hits? No. No, I did not. Oh, yes, I did. I put 4 down for the second. That was 5. They had 5 in the second. So let me just correct that. So that brings him up to 11 hits. Runs were 6. How many of them were earned? 5 of them. Wow. Okay. Cool. Now comes the fun part. The individual scores. So Dave Egler finished 1 for 5. So 5 at bats. He scored 2 runs. He had 1 hit. He had 1 RBI. I'm sorry, he had 2 RBIs. And he had 1 stolen base. He did not strike out. He did not walk, nothing. Fred Cone, this is for Cleveland, by the way. Fred Cone finished 5 at bats, 1 hit, 1 run. That hit was a double. He struck out looking, and he did not have an RBI. Deacon White finished 1 for 4, so 4 at bats, 1 hit. He had an RBI on that hit. He did not score a run. And that is it. Al Spalding went 5 at bats. He went 2 hits. He did not score a run, and he struck out once swinging. Chuck Fulmer, he went 1. He had 5 at bats. He had 1 hit. He also struck out swinging, and he. That's it. That's literally it. William Johnson, he went. He had 5 at bats. He had 1 hit. He had a stolen base, and he also struck out swinging. So actually, that should be 4 strikeouts for George Zetlin. He has 4 strikeouts. Denny Muck. Sorry, I'll return to chat in a second. Denny Muck, 4 at bats. He had 2 hits. He scored 2 runs. And John Glenn, 4 at-bats, 1 hit. He had 1 run. And finally, Francis Abercrombie, he finished 4 at-bats, 2 hits. He had an RBI. And that is it. Right, over to the Fort Wayne side. Dickie Flowers. He had 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He had 1 RBI. He had 1 stolen base. And he had 1 run. And he had 1 strikeout as well. Count Sessendorfer. I thought there was a guy in here, by the way, who had a base on balls. Oh, yeah, Danny Mark. Let me go back. Danny Muck. Danny Muck had a base on balls. Count Sessendorfer. He finished 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He struck out once. He had a stolen base. He has a run as well. Jimmy Wood. He finished with 5 at-bats. He had 2 hits. And he had a stolen base as well. Steve King. He finished with 5 at-bats. He had 3 hits, actually. He didn't score a run on any of his 3 hits. He was caught stealing once. He had an RBI. Henry Schaefer, he finished with 5 at-bats. He had an RBI. He did not have a hit. He had no hits. Wes Fisler, he finished with 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He had 1 run. Fergie Malone, he finished with 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit as well. So I forgot to record the doubles. It's fine. Doubles here. And I think that was basically it for the doubles on the other side. But I did record that one. Yeah. Who had a double over here? Did anybody have a double? I could have sworn they had a double. No? Not looking like it. Okay. Fergie Malone. One hit, 1 run, 4 at-bats. Dave Birdsall. He had 3 at-bats. He had 2 hits. He had 2 runs. And he had a stolen base. George, that was why I was odd why they subbed him, because he was doing so well. George Zetlin, the pitcher, he had 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit, and he scored 1 run. And then lastly, Charlie Smith, the pinch hitter, he had 1 at-bat, he had 1 hit, it was a double. And that was it. So, tallying it all together, 5, 10, 19, 24, 29, 33, 37, 41 at-bats for Cleveland. Hits 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12. Oh, did I count that base on balls as a hit by accident? No, I didn't. Oh, yes, I did. Whoops. Scratch that out. Whoops, there we go. 11 hits. They scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runs. They had doubles. 1, 2, 3. They had 3 doubles. They had 3 errors. They had 1 base on balls. They struck out 1, 2, 3, 4. They struck out 4 times, and they had 2 stolen bases. And they had 2, 3, 4 RBIs. Over on the Fort Wayne side, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 29, 30, 36, 40, 41 at-bats. Hits 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13. Runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Any doubles? No double. 1 double. They had 1 double. They made 3 errors. They had no bases on balls. Strikeouts. They had 2 stolen bases. They had 4 stolen bases. Look at that. RBIs 1, 2, 3, 4. RBIs 1, 2, 3. They had 3 RBIs. So most of the runs are scored on like pass balls and stuff, wild pitches, whatnot. So there you have it. Okay, there you go. That one's in the books, right? I am. That one is in the books, so I'm going to click leave game. Then I'm going to save the game, and that one is in the books. Bottom of the ninth, Fort Wayne win. What's it do to the standings, by the way? Fort Wayne top of the National League. Chicago White Stockings have yet to play, and neither have the New York Mutuals. Rockford Forest City's 0-1. Troy Haymakers 0-2. Over in the American League, the Philadelphia Athletics are 2-0. Boston Red Stockings are 1-2. Washington Olympics have yet to play. Cleveland Forest Cities are 0-1. The next game, I'm going to advance the day. The next game will be the Chicago White Stockings against the Troy Haymakers. I don't want to do Fort Wayne again because I've done them for 3 straight games in a row. So, because they've been the only ones that have, played. So, they were the only ones that played this day, and then I picked them here. I should have picked Philly, and I didn't. But we wound up doing Fort Wayne for 3 straight games. So, the next game we do will be the Chicago White Stockings against the Troy Haymakers. It'll be Monday, the 24th of April, 1871, which is where we're at. I will worry about all. We'll change the title to the stream and all of that. I'm going to go get dinner. For those on the YouTube, thank you so much for watching. And we will see you on the next one for Chicago versus Troy. Until then, take care.